We just got off of flight of Hippogriff. That's the kids roller coaster over here at Hogsmeade, and that was Joe's first time on that ride. What'd you think of the little roller coaster?
It's a little roller coaster, much faster than I expected.
Yeah.
And the turns are banked a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you upside down.
Yeah, Gary might have bruised me. Joe was sitting up front by himself because he's got legs.
Yeah.
And Gary and I were sitting behind him, and one of those banks, I think Gary probably bruised me.
Was I leaning into you, or were you leaning into me?
Yes. So then, other than that, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Gary and I tried that before when we were here, but we were stupid, and we had butterbeer before we got on that ride. Carbonated sugar in that hot ride where it mixes you up like you're in a blender. Man, we got off that thing so sick. We literally like crawled over to the wall and leaned on it, and then finally when we got our bearings, we made our way to a seat somewhere and sat there for 2 hours. It took us 2 hours just to get our bearings back and to be able to function. We were that sick. So this time we decided we're not so stupid, and we're not going to have butterbeer, carbonated sugar, before we get on that hot ride that mixes you up and shakes you. Well, so anyhow, that was one that was on Joe's wish list. So what did you think of Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey?
Wow. Yeah, it's probably the most intense thing I've been on. That's part roller coaster, part virtual ride. And I think it's more virtual ride than anything, but
Yeah.
man, it sure puts you through the spin cycle.
Yeah. I decided round 2, I did better without butterbeer, but I still got a little motion sick from it. Not bad, but enough that I had to close my eyes through part of it because I couldn't get it together, and I thought, oh man. I think part of the problem is there's literally no air moving in there. It is so hot that you get off of there and you're just completely covered in sweat. It was ridiculous hot. When you get that hot anyhow, you don't really do well. But being in that confined space and having it flip and turn you around and everything, I think eventually I'll probably be just fine with that ride. But round 2, I definitely got farther than I did the first time without being sick. I wouldn't say I'm sick, but it definitely made me just kind of mess with my equilibrium or something. I don't know, from all the shaking up. So, Gary, what did you think of it from round 2 without butterbeer?
Without the butterbeer, it was better, but it was still...
Messed with you?
Well, it just knocks the
Equilibrium.
yeah, that word. Maybe if I could say that word, it wouldn't be so bad. No, it was about midway through it, I think, is when it was getting to.
I think that's about when it hit me.
Because we
I
were
was
going a lot of
watching it for a
spiraling
while
down.
and laughing. I heard Gary laughing most of the ride.
Yeah.
So he got through way more than me. When you hear me get silent, it's probably not good. Because I'm not a silent rider. I'm a screamer on rides.
Yeah.
But no, if you hear me get that quiet, I'm probably not doing well.
Yeah, and for me, my little bit of odd feeling didn't really hit me until I sat down out here in the fresh air. But it's good I'm out here in the fresh air. Because otherwise, bad things
Getting
probably
out
happen.
here, thank God it's breezy.
So the good thing is, I don't feel like I need to get up and move in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I just need to sit here, and when we all feel good, we'll get up and move. But we don't have a time limit.
Usually it's Joe that asks, hey, can we find a place to sit down? This time it was me. For sure it was me. And I said, all right, you guys, I got to sit down because I'm really messed with right now. I just can't do it. So,
I'm glad you did.
so I had to sit down for a while. I'll still try it again.
But I would probably go on it again.
Yeah, but not today.
Exactly, and probably not tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I'm a little gun shy from it, but not as bad as I was. I was concerned about getting on it because Gary and I were so sick that first time. But I was convinced that the majority of that was from that butterbeer, and I still think that was
I
it.
think as far as today we had lunch, maybe an hour before.
I don't think that bothered me.
Yeah, I think maybe it did me just a little bit.
Nah, think that bothered me. I think it was just the flippity-doo-dah that was doing it for me, so.
I think what bothers me the most is when I'm not focused in one area.
You can't focus in one area because it's flipping you around nonstop, so there's no way to focus on one thing.
Well, I mean,
it's constant moving.
Yeah, keep my eyes straight. So what I was talking about. So.
Yeah, just that flipping around did it for me, but I want to love that ride though. That one kind of reminds me of Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom, but it's definitely way more extreme. Yeah. But it's so fun, but at the same time it messes with me. I think it's a great ride, but if you have motion sickness issues, it might mess with you the way that it did us. So just keep that in mind. Tonight we are back here in the room at Dockside Resort, Endless Summer Dockside Resort at Universal Studios. And we decided that we needed to celebrate that it is today. So we are celebrating with some cheesecake. Gary and I each got a raspberry cheesecake and Joe got a chocolate. The food options here at Dockside are really, really good. They definitely have way better dessert options than Cabana Bay. We love Cabana Bay, but the food options compared to Dockside, I think Dockside's maybe a little bit better, and Cabana Bay doesn't really have any dessert options to speak of. For that reason, I do like this. And in order to celebrate the fact that today is evening, I've asked Joe to make me
A decaf coffee,
a decaf coffee.
complete with sugar and hazelnut creamer.
Splenda.
Splenda, yeah. That.
Now, we came back a little bit early tonight because Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, I thought I could get past the queasy, but I can't. So I said, sorry guys, I need to call it quits for the evening. So unfortunately, I pooped out the party. I really wanted to see the light show on the castle. I've really been looking forward to that, and unfortunately, I just couldn't get it together. So we thought we'd just come back here and hang out for the night. So we are hanging out, feeling quite a bit better by now, but it took a while.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know why that ride is so hot. I mean, you get off of that and you are drenched in sweat. I don't think I would get so motion sick if it wasn't so incredibly hot in there. And we've done it twice now, and both times I was sweating profusely by the time I got off. I thought the first time was because I was so motion sick. The first time we had butterbeer, and I thought that I was just sick from it. But the fact that I wasn't necessarily sick from it this time, but still messed with my equilibrium real bad. And there's Gary over there, lounging like a bum.
Hola.
The bum that he is.
Hola.
It's been a pretty good vacation so far. We haven't been lightning speed on any day. I don't necessarily care, and at the same time, you always hope that you get to do more than what you're doing. But the pace is not too bad, and we're not too wore out, because there's been some late nights. But tonight is not one of those nights. So cheesecake it is, and a decaf coffee.
That's right.